Mhm.
This podcast is part of the Global Sports Podcast Network, the only network bringing you exclusive daily news and views on your Premier League team, the Premier League, women's football, and fantasy football. A unique listening experience that puts fans first, bringing you the very latest breaking news from your team. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and make us your first listen every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network. Every club, every day.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the daily English Premier League podcast on the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Louie, Easton, and joining me today is Craig Matthews from Daily Arsenal. We got a Liverpool fan and we got an Arsenal fan, so that's plenty to talk about for this up and coming weekend. But first, we have three unbelievable matches to uncover. When I say three unbelievable matches, I mean one, Craig. Unbelievable. Manchester United coming back from 4-3 down to win 5-4. That is just, that's insane, isn't it? In the space of however many minutes it was, this has to go down in history as one of the most unbelievable European matches in history, surely.
It's up there with like Liverpool comeback against Milan. It's up there with the Champions League final one in '99 when they were 1-0 down. So it was a great game to watch as a neutral, to be fair.
Let's not go that far. It's nowhere near Istanbul. Nothing ever will be. The only match that's better than Istanbul, in my opinion, is the Argentina World Cup final. However, I digress. We tried to get some Manchester United fans on tonight, but I'm assuming they're all out partying, getting drunk. I mean, it's Good Friday tomorrow, so there will be no interruptions of that night for them. But I mean, let's talk about that match. I think we have to kick off with that match. We will be hearing from Ashan very shortly, who is a Manchester United fan, who has given his verdict on that match. But Craig, where do we start with this one? I mean, 7-6 on aggregate. That is unheard of.
The scores galore. There was attack versus defense for the whole game. Both teams were attacking well. Both goalkeepers conceded so many goals tonight. Nobody could keep. There was Man United were going to score. Lyon were going to score. United will score again. Lyon will score two. The United had to score two to win the game. It's an up and down game.
Yeah, I think they actually scored 3 late goals. So there was the Bruno Fernandes penalty. Then it was Kobbie Mainoo. By the way, what a career this guy is having. I know Manchester United are really struggling, but he's part of this comeback. He also scored in the FA Cup final win against Manchester City, shown so much maturity. But of all players to win this for Manchester United, someone who has been on the receiving end of such vile abuse on social media and has been who's been the target of such disrespect for all this time. Harry Maguire, the centre-back who has been played as a striker in these last moments of the game. Is that a stroke of genius from Ruben Amorim? And also, I don't think we ever doubt Harry Maguire when it comes to heading.
I think he was desperate. He has to try something, so he had no choice. He has to play him up there. But it's good. I think he's very good in the penalty box. He's very good as a emergency striker. He scored a couple late goals for this season and last season as well. So he's a good target man to have in there if you're losing the game, chasing the game. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and this is going to take Manchester United into the semi-final of the Europa League now. They got Bilbao in the semi-final, who have been having a terrific season in La Liga. It's a difficult place to go, Bilbao. I mean, they are a club that have so much heritage. Always had Basque players through their entire history, or Basque-made players. I think the main players to look out for this one are, if you are a fan of international football and you remember who was incredible in the Euros, Iñaki and Nico Williams, the two brothers. Nico in particular, an absolute star, stayed at Bilbao in the summer, something that we didn't think would happen because all the big clubs were competing to sign him. They might be the favourites to win the Europa League, mightn't they?
I agree. I think they're the favourites now.
Yeah, and the other semi-final we've seen, I actually watched the penalty shootout between Bodo Glimt and Lazio. Unbelievable that a Norwegian club are in the semi-final of the Europa League, but Spurs are into the semi-final, and they've got this Norwegian club, Bodo Glimt. It must be a fumble if they don't get into the final. And I think if there's any chance for them to get a trophy, now's the time to really step it up. They've had a horrific season, something that I'm sure you have enjoyed very much because of you being an Arsenal fan. But what do you expect from Tottenham Hotspur to get through into the final against Bodo Glimt? Surely you expect that from Spurs.
They have to, if they get to the final, they have to go and win it. Not as a Spurs. If you're a Spurs fan, you'd hope they get to the final and they have to beat get to win the semi final, get to the final, and go on to win it. If they don't win it, then it'll be a massive disappointment because they've been for so many obstacles this season. So now they have opportunity to make it to finally try to win a trophy. So see what happens.
Yeah, obviously, it was the Solanke goal that was the difference between them and the German side. In the quarterfinal, do you think as soon as Spurs are out of the Europa League, if they are out of the Europa League, assuming they don't win it, do you think that's the end of Ange at Tottenham?
I feel like he's been very fortunate this season. I think he's been very lucky that because of all the injuries and all the players that had injured this season, why he hasn't been sacked earlier. I think any other club was struggling, would hardly struggled this season. The manager would have been gone a long time ago. You can say from Man United when Ten Hag was struggling, they got rid of him and brought in Amarin. So it goes to show maybe he's been very fortunate that they backed him in the January window with money to buy players. So now he has to prove his worth to the club and the fans, win over the fans as well. I would say a
Yeah,
lot of them turned against him this season as well. So yeah,
yeah. I mean, all of the talk has been about the injuries this season for Spurs, but with them being this low in the Premier League, that is inexcusable for a club of Tottenham's size and Tottenham's quality. They still have Heung-min Son, but it's like we've forgotten about that because he's been non-existent this season. All the talk has been about, Brennan Johnson, who I think has surprised a few of us with his goal scoring, especially earlier on in the season. Solanke, still waiting to see it, kind of. He scored a couple of goals. Lucas Bergvall has been a bit of a diamond in the rough for Spurs. But, I mean, you can say what you want about their defensive injuries. They're passing out of the back, their high line, and just the tactics in general have been awful. Obviously, Romero made that mistake on the weekend for Spurs in the Premier League. But I suppose this is their chance to turn it all around now in the Europa League, which is something that's, is often mocked, being just the Mickey Mouse Champions League. But it's a huge accomplishment for Spurs, who haven't won a trophy since 2008 and are just searching for any signs of life or any chance of hope on this season, because all the hope appears to be on this. I mean, you can say the same about Manchester United, but Spurs need this more than anything. I think they need this more than any other team. I think that's fair to say. I think Bilbao a couple of years ago did win the Copa del Rey. Bodo Glimt, their success is getting to the semi-final. Manchester United do kind of need this, but they did also get a trophy last season. Spurs need this more than any other team. We'll go back to that Manchester United match now. Ishan from Daily English, who couldn't be on with us today, has been very kind enough to send us a voice note of his thoughts of the Manchester United game.
Hello, hello, hello. A great win for United, never in doubt. Pretty nervy end, really nervy end. The start of the game was great. It was a great United performance first half. Started the second half, we created so many chances. Garnacho had a one-on-one that he had acres of space in the start of the second half that he should have put away to make us 3-0 up. We paid for it, 2-2, going into full time. Quarantine Tolisso, thank you for getting a red card. We would not have had a chance if we were not facing 10 men. That end of the game, oh my God, I was all over the place. The emotions are running high. I'm so glad that Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire are in our team. I think it's invaluable. Hopefully this leads into something in the next semi-final against Bilbao. Please, please, please give us something. It was a great showing, though. There's a lot of positives to take, which you really cannot say about United much this season. So we'll take it. Would not have changed a thing. Thank you, Man United, for making me book an appointment with my cardiologist. That was so much emotion. All right. See you guys next week.
That California accent was so... that was so rife there. But no, yeah, of course, I completely forgot to talk about Corentin Tolisso's red card. I mean, he was on a yellow card and he just did something stupid. It is what it is. But when you look at that Lyon team, you see a lot of quality. I mean, someone you know very well, Ashley Maitland-Niles, Mr. Who told him to come off his line, bruv, was playing for them, and he got himself an assist. You look at that defence, they've got Moussa Niakate, who kind of fell off from that Nottingham Forest defence last season. Nicolas Tagliafico, of course, left back getting a goal. You got Thiago Almada. If you know Football Manager, you know Thiago Almada. You got George Mikatadze, who was incredible for Georgia at the Euros. And the veteran, Jordan Veretout. Now, that is someone that Villa fans may remember fondly. He did get himself a yellow card and he got sent off in the 55th minute, but good to see him, regardless. And, of course, someone who you also know very well, Craig, Alexander Lacazette, goal and assist off the bench. United really had to fight tooth and nail for this one. I mean, that goes without saying. But, I mean, Lyon will be very unfortunate. There are two sides to football. Let's focus on Lyon now. They'll be out of Ligue 1 next season. They have been done for FFP. And many of these players will be leaving them. They've already had Wilfried Zaha leave them as well. It's a bleak time for Lyon fans, but total bliss from Manchester United. This is what football's all about, isn't it, Craig?
Definitely, 100%. Football gives you a high and it gives you a low. Like when you're doing well and you get that big win and it's a big buzz, and then when you get that big massive unnecessary defeat that you're not expected, you can go very up and very down very quickly. So I think United fans had an up and down moment tonight until the game was almost done. So yeah.
It's a shame because when I think of great Manchester United games in recent times, nothing really comes to mind apart from last season where they beat us in the FA Cup after, I mean, having an awful time, and it was that Amad Diallo moment. That and Tom Jolly, someone who you may remember if you're a long-term listener of Daily English Premier League on GSPN, he mentioned to me on my debut here on GSPN that was his favourite match of the season, even more than winning the FA Cup. So, yeah, it is what it is. But a great evening for Manchester United fans. A less great evening, however, for Chelsea. They did do enough in the first leg in Poland to beat Legia Warsaw 3-0, but they did lose 2-1. And it's not like they played a very weakened side, Craig. I suppose they were just trying to walk it in with just get to the finish line in this match. The Conference League is something that they can afford to take the foot off the gas, and they have got Djurgården next in the semi-final. The other semi-final being the team who have been sort of cursed by the Conference League, Fiorentina, and they will be playing against brilliant Real Betis, who have Anthony absolutely tearing La Liga apart. How are you feeling at the moment if you're a Chelsea fan? Surely you're not too disheartened by this 2-1 defeat.
No, they got through. They did the job last week. All they have to do is not concede too many goals. They're really through anyway. So, but the manager has to some of the players were very complacent. Like maybe they thought they won the game before went onto the pitch. So they were very fortunate they didn't concede more goals. But they've gone through now. They're in semi-finals. Then the next game will come from the possible to go to the next game, and then hopefully they get to the final. If they do get to the final, well, they should do. But you never know in football. So yeah.
And Jadon Sancho seems to be doing quite well now at the moment. He's got himself a few goals and assists this season, both in the Conference League and the Premier League. Things are starting to look up a little bit for him. Is that someone that you could expect Chelsea to want to keep their hands on at the end of the season?
I think they should. I think he needs a fresh move from Man United. It didn't work out for Man United. He went to a loan to Dortmund last season, did quite well, got into the Champions League final. It was very unfortunate to win that final. They had a lot of chances, but I feel that he's stepping up now this season. Come to Chelsea, he's stepping up. So I feel that he wants to move. And I think if he moves to Chelsea, hopefully he has to step up even more again next season because the competition for places. So he has to,
They've been linked to Jamie Gittins as well from Dortmund. It's just greedy at this point. But in my opinion, they've got way too many wingers as it is. I mean,
yeah.
They've got way too many, and it's just, Palmer plays on the right, Madueke plays on the right, Tyreek George coming up on the left, Mudryk, I think, is still on their cards. I can't remember what happened to him, what team he went on loan to. I've lost count, but they do have an insane amount of wingers, and they're trying to bring in Gittins. Why? I don't understand this logic from Chelsea, but I digress. After this short break here on Daily English Premier League Podcast, we will be previewing some of the weekend's action. But first, hear about where you can get your supplements from and what we use to record our podcasts here at GSPN.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out as the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the description to learn more about Zencastr. Right, let's get into this weekend's action then. So, no 12:30 kickoff. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will be furious to hear that. But a great list of 3 o'clock kickoffs. Let's start off with Brentford versus Brighton, shall we? It's an interesting one because Brighton, we know their quality. It's 10th versus 11th, Brighton 10th, Brentford 11th. Neither of them have won their last 3. So this will be interesting, but Brighton have got a bit of an injury crisis in their defence. Just listen to this list of players that are injured. Adam Webster, Ferdy Kadioglu, Jorginho Ruta, Igor, James Milner, Jason Steele, Joel Veltman, Kaoru Mitoma, and Tarek Lamptey. Veltman and Mitoma could be back. I just take that one with a pinch of salt. But this is... If Brighton want to challenge for Europe, or Brentford still want to challenge for Europe, this is an absolute must-win for these two, surely.
Definitely, I agree. I think Brentford. I think Brentford
Sorry,
looks strong. Brentford looks strong. I think if Brighton got all the injuries, I think Brentford at home, they're very good at home, so I think they could win that game.
Brentford are good at home. However, their last 2 at home was a 0-0 draw against Chelsea and a 1-0 loss at home to Villa. I mean, Villa are a good team, so, is what it is. But their last win coming away at Bournemouth, which is something that very few of us actually expected. They drew with you lot last time out, of course, 1-1 in the Premier League. It was Visa and Partey who scored in those two. How do you think Brentford looked in that match? And what can they carry into this match against Brighton now?
I think they played looked better in the second half. They played very well. When they went 1-0 down, they didn't give up. They went on the counter attack and got a goal, got a corner, and forced some errors from Arsenal, and then they got a goal from a corner. So they're very good at if they go 1-0 down, they don't give up. They're very good at chasing games and all that. So they can score goals as well. They've got goals all over the pitch, so they can score goals. So yeah.
Give me a prediction for that one. Come on.
2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. He's going with the home advantage for that one. Okay, up next, Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. Crystal Palace have been struggling themselves recently. Fresh off a 5-0 loss at Newcastle and a 5-2 loss at Manchester City. They are at home for this one. Their last home match, they won against Brighton 2-1. And before that, a 1-1 draw with Southampton. Before that, a 3-0 win at Fulham. This is a very strange Crystal Palace side. They haven't got too many injuries. You know, Doucouré is their only real one. Chelly Riyad as well. But going head-to-head for this one, history would suggest Crystal Palace would come out on top. They've won 6 times against Bournemouth. However, their last win at Bournemouth was in May 2023. This is a bit unpredictable in itself. I mean, Bournemouth, are a team that lost 3 in a row recently, all at home, against Ipswich, against Manchester City, against Brentford. This is a bit difficult to call, this one, isn't it, Craig?
Definitely. It's very hard to call because Palace did started very well against Man City last week. They went 2-0 up and then they just capitulated in the second half. So, and then midweek they got battered 5-0 by Newcastle yesterday. So it's very difficult to call what. It depends what Crystal Palace turns up. That's the problem.
That is a good point. They do play quite defensive football, but they have so much quality going forward as well. I mean, Eberechi Eze, we've all seen how incredible he is. I'll be interested to see if he stays in the summer. Jean-Philippe Mateta, their top scorer, 13 goals this season in the Premier League. And Santiago Munoz has been one of the right backs of the season, 4 goals and 4 assists, which is not for such a defensive side. That's quite impressive. But if you just watch his performances and his willing to get forward, is inspiring. Palace still sitting in 12th, Bournemouth in 8th. Starting to look like they may not challenge for Europe as they are 6 points behind Chelsea, who are on 6th, and Villa, who are in 7th. It's all seeming to fall apart a little bit for Iraola. What's your prediction for this one?
I think it's going to be a draw.
A draw. Okay. Score draw, or we need a score prediction?
2-2.
2-2. It's gone for a high score. Everton versus Manchester City. Now, a few months ago, this wouldn't have been that interesting. You would have thought Everton are just going to get absolutely cooked again. But if you look at Everton in recent weeks, under David Moyes, you'd see things are starting to go their way a little bit with the quality that they have. Obviously, only 1 win out of the last 5, but that win was a very impressive one against Nottingham Forest. They held Arsenal to a 1-1 draw, lost at Anfield to Liverpool, and before that, a draw with West Ham, a draw with Wolves. But things are just starting to change a little bit for Everton. We're seeing Iliman Ndiaye, he's got 7 goals this season, and we don't know what kind of Manchester City will get. Phil Foden might still be a doubt. Obviously, Rodri's been out the entire season. But Haaland, Ederson, Stones, Akanji, Ake, all doubts at the moment. What kind of match should we expect here at Goodison Park? This is going to be a very emotional time for Everton fans as well, because it's one of their last matches there at that stadium.
I thought Everton are going to do a low block against City. They'll just low block and hit them on the counter attack because they've got good attacking players in their team. Everton, they've got some good players. They've got Beto up front. They've got Jack Harrison. They've got Ndiaye. They've got some decent players. They've got Doucouré, who's scored a lot of their goals this season from midfield. So they've got a decent team. I think Everton, if it goes to like 60, 70 minutes and Man City haven't scored, I fancy Everton to get a sneaky 1-0 win.
Yeah, and Man City haven't lost in the last 5. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They have been. I mean, they conceded 2 against Palace, none against United, none against Leicester, 1 against Bournemouth, 2 against Brighton.
Mm.
So not the best defensive record, but they seem to still get over the line. This is going to be a real test for Manchester City. They haven't got Haaland, and it just really depends on what kind of Manchester City we'll see. Will they go with Marmoush up front again? Will De Bruyne play? We know he's leaving at the end of the season. James McAtee, will he play? Gundogan as well. I mean, he started on the left wing in their last match. So Pep likes to bring the youngsters in. He's played O'Reilly at left back, McAtee on the right wing, starting in their last match. So what prediction, what scoreline would you go for?
Well, I know City need to get Champions League football next season. They're not in the top 4. I think are they in the top 4? I think
They are currently just 5th, 2 points off the top 4. Forest are above them, but Forest have lost their last 2 games. We'll get into them later.
I think Guardiola's going to want to get Champions League football this season. I think they'll win 2-1. I think Man City will win that game 2-1.
Yeah, I can see them maybe just pulling it off. I still think it will be a draw, but it will just be like whether Everton can get to the end or not. It's just I'm still just amazed by this Everton transformation that we've seen. Now going towards the bottom of the table, 2 very underwhelming seasons for these 2 sides. West Ham United against an already relegated Southampton. It must be so disheartening being a Southampton fan, having to watch all of these games. The earliest ever relegation in the Premier League by date, but West Ham have also lost 3 of their last 5. 2-1 against Liverpool was the last one. Drew 2 at against Bournemouth. Lost 1-0 at Wolves. Drew 1-1 with West Ham at home. And then drew 1-1 with Everton at home, and then before that losing 1-0 at home to Newcastle. What's your thoughts on Graham Potter so far with West Ham? Do you think it was a good appointment? Do you see them playing better football? Or do you just not understand it?
I thought that they're not really playing like great football. They had to sack their old manager because he was struggling. He was not doing well for them at all. Lovetegi, he struggled for them, so he wasn't doing well. And some of the signings they brought in as well have not really lived up to the money they got for Declan Rice, the money they spent. And some of them didn't really spend it. Why? I think when Bissaka's was signing for them, that's about it. All the rest of them have been failed to make an impact, if you like to say. I haven't really turned that. So
apart from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, to be fair,
he's
been brilliant.
I did say about Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka's been a good signing for them. Yeah, but the rest of them have not lived up to the billing.
What I don't get, I understand that he's had these issues off the pitch, Paquetá, but 4 goals all season. That is just bewildering. Like when I was watching Paquetá last season, I was just thinking, this guy's too good for this club. He is carrying West Ham at the moment.
Yeah.
And when you look at their midfield 3, Paquetá, Ward-Prowse, Carl Soler, that screams quality. When you look at their entire club, it screams quality. Kudus and Bowen up front. But it just really, something's not worked for West Ham. I mean, they play 3 at the back and 3 midfield. Yeah. So it seems very defensive. They've got the 2 wing backs who push up. I can't get my head around like how you can think Potter would be the one to change it, because he was very good at Brighton, underwhelming at Chelsea. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. Regardless of whether that's his fault or the club's fault. But I look at this West Ham side and I'm just seeing great players, and they're 17th. They've had an awful season. if they want to really push forward and they want to think about Europe again, obviously they've had their recent success in Europe, but they cannot do it under Potter. Is that the man to convert a club from 17th to top 8, top 10, let alone top 8? So yeah, well, that with their quality they should be up there, but it is what it is. But against Southampton, surely they're going to get a win with this one.
Well, they need a win because they're near the bottom of the table. They need to get some points on the table now for now at the end of the season, both for confidence and everything. So they need to win that game.
Do you think they will?
Well, they have to. No, honestly, they
So
have to. I think they
yeah,
have to
they
win.
do. They absolutely do. I think the quality difference is going to be the difference between these two sides. I mean, in my opinion, Southampton have got the ability to play some decent football, and they have done against some big teams. But yeah, I just think West Ham at home, surely. I'm going to
Sure.
say 1-0. I think it's going to be a very boring match and
Mm,
a lot of mistakes. I honestly think there will be a goal in this match that comes from a terrible mistake in defence. That's my
yeah,
early prediction.
I agree.
Okay. Right, moving on. Aston Villa against Newcastle. These are two of the best sides in the Premier League at the moment. Aston Villa tired from midweek, obviously, battling PSG in the Champions League, and it went right to the wire. Very unlucky not to get anything from that. They also got a 3-0 win at Southampton, boosting their chances of qualifying for next season's Champions League. They currently sit above, yes, that's right, above Manchester City. Oh, no, sorry, wrong team, ignore me. They currently sit above... Ignore me, that was Newcastle. That's the other team I'm talking about. No, they currently sit in 7th, so they're still close to the top 4, 3 points off. As for Newcastle, leapfrogging Nottingham Forest. I was thinking about that with their game in hand midweek, so they'll be tired as well. It's the late kickoff on a Saturday night. I would just like to say, why are they playing on the Saturday? Why are they not playing on a Sunday or Monday? It makes no sense to me. They've both played midweek football, and you want them to play on a Saturday. I mean, this is poor from the Premier League and the FA, surely.
TV money, it's TV money, and that's why I think the TV
Uh,
rights, all that.
but
It's
sure,
too much. It's too much.
what
Honestly,
I
it's
don't
too
get
much.
is they had this.
Mm,
They had the information that this match was going to be happening weeks
yeah.
in advance. Why
Mm,
would they not just change it? I don't get it. Anyway, regardless, two tired teams having to play 90 minutes. I mean, Villa will just be pleased that it didn't have to go to extra time against PSG for this match. Obviously, in hindsight, but maybe not during the match. But anyway, obviously Newcastle getting an incredible win against Crystal Palace. 5-0 on Wednesday nights, just before the Arsenal game, so you would have missed that one. But 5 different scorers. Granted, one of them was an own goal. This is a very impressive showing for Newcastle. But you can't really say that there's a favourite going into this, can you?
no, it's hard. It's hard to predict. It's hard to predict the score for this one because both teams are in good form. Since Villa done their transfer business in January, they brought in some good recruitment. They brought in Rashford, they brought in Asensio, they brought in Darnell Marlin from Dortmund. So they've done some good, and I think they brought the left back as well. They brought left back in as well. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they've done some good business. So I would say it's hard to predict the scoreline for that game.
So this is where it stands for Aston Villa. They are currently 5 points off. Sorry, 3 points off top 4.
Hmm.
These are their last matches: Newcastle at home,
Mm-hmm.
Manchester City away,
Hmm.
Crystal Palace away, Fulham at home, Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Man United away.
Hmm.
This is Newcastle. They are currently in the top 4 by 4 points. And these are their matches that they have got for the rest of the season. Hold on, I'm just pulling them up. Here we go. So Newcastle, they are going to be playing Villa away,
Yeah.
Ipswich at home,
Mm-hmm.
Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Everton at home, and that's it. So when you listen to those fixtures, this is a must-win for these two teams in both of their situations. Villa's pursuit to get into the top four or just to get into Europe for next season, and Newcastle's hope to stay in the top four. Bearing in mind, Newcastle have won their last 5 games in the Premier League. They're in the best form of any team in the season, including Liverpool. Do you think Newcastle will continue this form? Will they do enough to get into the top 4? I mean, surely they'd want to, because they were very unfairly knocked out of the Champions League last year.
Yeah.
This is huge for them.
I thought Newcastle, if they can keep Isak fit, Guimaraes, Isak, and them guys fit, I think that they have a great chance of getting top 4. They keep them fit. I think they can stay fit. Especially Isak, if you can stay fit till now and end the season, Tonali, all their top players, I think they could definitely get top 4.
I'll be very interested to see if Newcastle can hold on to Isak. If they get into the Champions League, they'll have much more say in what happens to Isak, because they'll be allowed to spend more. But I'm just looking at this Newcastle midfield: Joelinton, Tonali, Guimaraes. That is absolutely insane. That's probably one of the best midfields in the Premier League. Maybe right now in current form, that's the best midfield 3, especially Tonali. I mean, he is just that goal he scored. I can't remember who it was against. It was like last week.
United.
Yeah, that apparently he didn't mean it. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't
think
believe
he's
that
trolling.
either.
No, the way he hit that with vigor, and Jacob Murphy scored a similar one against Crystal Palace. He had a great performance, and that's someone that we just did not expect to be good enough for Newcastle this season, but he's had a proper turnaround.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask you the difficult question. What's your prediction for this match? Villa versus Newcastle. I think that's the best match of this weekend.
You know what? I fancy Newcastle. Is Newcastle at home or away?
Villa at home.
I fancy Newcastle to win.
Continue their good form. Villa have won their last 4, by the way.
They might have a
Southampton 3-0. They just beat Forest as well. 2-1.
Champions League hangover, I would say.
Yeah, you make a good point. It's so hard. It's
hard.
What do I think? I don't even know what I think. I want to say a draw, but I think it's going to be like a 3-3 draw or something. You can see that happening.
Yeah, there's going to be goals in this game. Definitely going to be goals in this game.
Yeah, there has to be. So is that your pick of the weekend? That's the best match of the weekend.
That's the best game of the weekend, 100%. I'm going to watch that game as well. That's going to be the best game to watch.
Yeah. God, write it down. 5:30 Saturday night. What a match as well. Okay, so that's Saturday done. Just heading into the Sunday fixtures. I mean, there's a couple of good ones in here. We've got a West London derby on our hands. Fulham versus Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea will be absolutely knackered. Let's be honest, they're not going to be knackered. They walked it against Legia in the Conference League. Now they've got their sights set on Fulham. It's away, but it's not a very long journey away. Just down the Thames. Not down the Thames. What am I on about? Just in the same town, basically. It's a 2-minute drive. So Fulham against Chelsea. I look at this game. I mean, Fulham have been unpredictable recently. If you look at their recent form, they've got 3 losses and 2 wins in their last 5 games. One of those wins coming against Liverpool, 3-2 at Craven Cottage. And they actually outplayed Liverpool in that game. Liverpool brought on 10 strikers at the end. Still couldn't get past their defence. Anthony Robinson has been a revelation for Fulham this season. He's been given the captain's armband. I say that when Tom Kearney's not playing, he's got the captain's armband on at the moment. 10 assists this season for Anthony Robinson, 8 for Iwobi, 8 for Muniz. And Ryan Sessegnon has actually started doing well on the right wing. He's been a sort of left wing back his whole career, but he's been given a chance on the right hand side. He's been doing pretty well. He's got 3 goals recently and an assist. This is is this a transitional moment for Fulham?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that they've since Silver's taken over on Fulham, they've done quite well. He kept them up last season, kept them up the season before. Because I know Fulham were a team that used to get to the for the champions of the Premier League, and then they'll get relegated. They'll come up and down. Another yo-yo team. It's kind of settled the team, kind of settled the club. Now getting to the Premier League,
Yeah.
won an FA Cup, and they've just yeah, they're building something special there, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we always talked about Fulham as a yo-yo team with Norwich City. They'd always swap places. But in recent years, Fulham have gone further up in estimations in the Premier League and stayed relatively mid-table. They're currently sitting at 9th. And Norwich City have gone further down into the Championship. So that's kind of ended now. But we look at Chelsea. They have had a bit of a rocky season. They started the season pretty well. We were all singing the praises of Enzo Maresca at one point for finally being the man to sort of relax Chelsea fans a bit after all of these transfer frenzies and manager sacking after manager sacking. They are probably favourites for the Conference League alongside Real Betis. Obviously, Anthony tearing the league apart there. But they've only lost 1 in their last 5. They drew their last 2, one against Ipswich, one against Brentford, and then they beat Spurs, and before that, lost to Arsenal. Before that, beat Leicester. I don't think... are Chelsea out of this blip now? They have every right to believe they can qualify for the Champions League as well, only 3 points off.
Well, they're not scoring enough goals. I would say the striker's not since he's come back from injury. Jackson has not scored any goals since he's come back from injury, and I feel Cole Palmer's had a bit of a different form. His form has not been great as it was last season. He scored an awful lot of goals last season, but that's expected from players. Like you have one good season, next season you'll struggle. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Palmer's been reintegrated into this team now. 14 goals and 8 assists over the entire season. I mean, they really shouldn't have drew against Ipswich. That's pretty unforgivable in their pursuit of Champions League qualification race. So they still have a mistake in them. And, you know, Chelsea fans understandably very frustrated, but they're also saying it contributed to the team's poor performance, you know, rushing the goalkeeper. Just 1 point behind Manchester City, however. So there is still hope. But for this one, it's another unpredictable one. That's just what the Premier League is now. You just can't predict these matches. But I'm going to ask you to.
Fulham at home, right?
Fulham at home, yeah. Craven Cottage.
So if Chelsea don't turn up on the day, I see Fulham winning 2-1. If Chelsea don't turn up, if Chelsea play like how they played Ipswich last week, Fulham will beat them.
So moving on to Ipswich versus Arsenal, and I would just like to mention, if Ipswich win and Liverpool win, Liverpool have won the Premier League. So that let's get that elephant in the room out. So Ipswich are at home, 2:00 kickoff. Both teams have their fair share of injuries. Obviously, Arsenal's Gabriel Jesus. Jorginho is still a bit of a doubt because he's got a rib injury. Kai Havertz, Ricardo Calafiori, and Takahiro Tomiyasu. I mean, completely forgot about him. But looking at Ipswich, Muric is out, Ogbene's out, Jaden Philogene out, Calvin Phillips has still got a knock, Amari Hutchinson still got a hamstring injury, Sammy Smodics, I mean, that's a devastating one for Ipswich. He's out until May. And Wes Burns, obviously, he's out until October. So definitely no chance of playing this weekend. Obviously, Ipswich did well to get a draw against Chelsea in their defence, but Arsenal fans will be absolutely delighted with how they're doing against Real Madrid in the Champions League. They've got PSG to look forward to. But do you really care what happens in the Premier League for the rest of the season? Is it just like if you get top 4, top 5, whatever, you're happy with that, and your focus is on the Champions League. Is it that sort of feeling at the club?
I feel that's what it is at the moment. To be honest, I think everyone's putting eggs in one basket. I'll try to win the Champions League. I would say, me as a fan, I would want to get us as high up, like solidify, keep second place, try and stay second, and try and keep that because other teams are like not far points behind us. So if we can get a couple wins here and there just to solidify second place, I'm happy with that and just do well in the Champions League. That's what I would. That's what I want as a fan.
I will say, though, Arsenal drew their last two Premier League games at home against Brentford and away at Everton. You're away in this one as well. Is there a little bit of nerves going into this, especially considering the fact that your team has just got back from the capital of Spain as well? So there's a little bit of travel fatigue there as well.
I feel like he has to rotate the squad on Sunday. Just rotate the players who didn't get minutes, like Wanyeri, maybe players like Trossard, Sterling, players like give them some minutes on Sunday, and then you can always bring on the player, have a strong bench. So if players are injured, players want to be rotated. You can rotate the squad if losing or need to get the win. So I would do it like that. I wouldn't start Saka in this game or Martinelli.
Wouldn't
I'll rest them.
wouldn't or maybe
I'll
just
rest them.
maybe sub them off after 60 minutes sort of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to risk it because they had a hard game last night against Real Madrid. So and they're playing against Ipswich at that tight pitch as well. So I wouldn't want to risk. I wouldn't want to risk it. I risk them in the first half. I'd bring them on if needed. Bring them on if
Yeah,
needed.
yeah. It's one of those, I suppose. I mean, Ipswich are a team that I think we're all going to miss from the Premier League. I mean, they're a proper club. I love Portman Road as well. Just a
Yeah,
fantastic atmosphere there, and a proper old school football stadium as well.
yeah.
Just not enough fortune, not enough quality in that team. They've only won 4 times all season, and they've had a lot of bad luck in their defence. That game against Leicester comes to mind where they just got so many bad VAR decisions and Calvin Phillips got sent off. That one immediately springs to memory. What are you hoping for in this match? Are you hoping for a good performance from non-starting players and to get the 3 points?
I think I'll non-starting players like get great performance from non-starting players and get the 3 points. Let's go there, get the win, and go home and wait for another next game. Focus on the game on Wednesday. So yeah.
You want a comfortable win though, like 2-0? Is that what you're predicting?
Yeah, I think a 2-0 or 3-1 win, I'll be happy with the 2 or 3-0 win. Or 3-1 win or something. I'll be happy with that.
All right, so we'll move on to our last three matches. Manchester United at home against Wolves. I mean, United will be absolutely exhausted. I'm certain. That Europa League game that we just discussed earlier. 120 minutes, 7-6 on aggregate. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
2:00 kickoff at Old Trafford. I mean, at least they don't have to travel. That's the only thing I can say in their defence. But Wolves, they're still on the same amount of points as West Ham, 35 points. Winning 10 this season, though. You wouldn't have thought that. 10 wins, 5 draws, 17 losses for Wolves. But they've won their last 4 matches. 4-2 at home against Spurs, 2-1 at Ipswich, 1-0 at home against West Ham, and 2-1 at Southampton. Now, I ask you this. Is that a sort of indication that Wolves are probably going to win this game?
And they got Cunha's back as well from suspension. He scored last week. I think the Wolves have got a good team. They've got a good team, and I think they finally got a good manager as well that's getting the best out of that team as well. I know disrespect to Gary O'Neill, 'cause I thought he did a great job at Wolves last season. And this season, he kind of lost the dressing room a little bit towards the end of his tenure. Lost the dressing room, but to be fair, I thought that I thought Wolves have got a good team. I thought they could shock the Man United. I think they might have a big shock if Man United's not on it. So yeah.
I mean, I think we're all surprised by Jurgen Strand Larsen as well. He's been in exceptional form. He's only the second Wolves player to score in 4 straight Premier League games. There's a stat for you. He's one to look out for Manchester United. And United will just be tired. I mean, there's no getting around it. 120 minutes in a tense match against Lyon. I'm actually thinking this could be a bit of a drubbing. Wolves could really hurt Manchester United in this game.
Yeah.
So I think this might even be like a sort of 3-0 to Wolves sort of thing. I mean, I this is going to get clipped, and Manchester United are going to destroy them. But that's my early prediction. Is what's your prediction for this one? I'm interested to hear from you.
If Man United don't turn up on the day, they can get battered by Wolves. I think Wolves can go there and get a result against them because Man United have not really scored enough goals from striking position. Like Hodgson's been poor this season. They haven't really scored a lot of goals. All they depend on is Bruno Fernandes to get them out. Garnacho. Some of the goals that they scored, they haven't scored enough goals this season, to be honest. The front three haven't scored enough goals. And I think goals win you games, and they haven't really done it a lot this season. So I fancy Wolves to win 3-0.
3-0. Okay, I'm glad I'm not on my own for that one. Thanks for saying the same score as me in terms of solidarity. Right. Okay, last two matches. Now, we spoke about this earlier. If Ipswich beat Arsenal, then Liverpool can win the league. They go to Leicester. 4:30 kickoff, Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a big Sunday in the Premier League. Leicester, obviously, just a terrible, terrible season for them. They have, before drawing against Brighton, that's a pretty decent result. They lost 4 in a row, 3-0 at home to Newcastle, 2-0 at Manchester City, 3-0 at home to Manchester United, and 1-0 at Chelsea. I mean, it's a difficult few games for them. But 22 losses this season with a minus 45 goal difference. Only picking up 18 points all season. This has been horrific for Leicester. And you can't even call it the quality, can you, with Leicester? I mean, we'll give them credit. They got a 2-2 draw at Brighton. That's a difficult place to go. And they managed to get a result. And I think we're all a bit surprised by that. Just looking at Leicester this season, I mean, they spent less than 10 million on agent fees during this season, placing them among the lowest spenders in the Premier League for such costs. But I still look at their team. Mavididi, El Khanous, Soumare, Ndidi, Connor Cody, James Justin, and Jamie Vardy, obviously up front. These are all players who are Premier League quality. But they just haven't been able to put it all together. And I look at their fixtures. I mean, they are about to go down. I don't know off the top of my head how soon they could go down. But they go to Wolves after Liverpool, at home against Southampton in a bottom of the table sort of fixture there. This has got to be a Liverpool win, every way that you slice it.
I agree. If you guys don't win against Leicester, then something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong.
The thing is with Liverpool, though, since that Carabao Cup final, obviously that was the last match before there was that break for internationals.
Yeah.
I just don't think Liverpool have been playing that well. And I hate to say it. Obviously, we lost to Fulham the other day. Scraped a 2-1 win against West Ham. I mean, 89th minute, Van Dijk header. Then he goes and signs his new contract. So maybe there's a little bit of a morale boost around the club that we've fought for a win. Now our captain's re-signed for another couple of years. Then we go to Leicester. Surely, I mean, it all looks like it's going to go well. But, I mean, I just look at the way Liverpool play and I just think, God, how are we this far clear at the top of the Premier League table when we're playing this awful football? There's just no sort of passion. Salah's gone pretty quiet, I think. And if you still look at our average across the season, it's 2.31 goals per match. As a Liverpool fan, I'm just not that inspired at the moment. I know Van Dijk and Salah have re-signed contracts. Conor Bradley's been doing well in terms of his personal performances. I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, especially if we are going to look at replacing Trent. I think we should just replace him with Bradley. My only worry with Bradley is the injuries. We just need 2 more wins from our last 6 games to win the Premier League title. Surely we get it here. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm saying 2-1 Liverpool. No,
I think
2-0. 2-0. 2-0.
I think Liverpool definitely will win against Leicester. Leicester have been poor this season. I'm very disappointed in Leicester. I think when they came up from the Champions League, I thought they'll do well in the Premier League. I thought they went
Mm,
down the season. They were very unlucky to go down when they went down, or when they got relegated at the time. I
yeah.
thought in the Premier League they'll come back rejuvenated and they'll come back solid and strong and do well. But I'm not. I think Liverpool will definitely win. But
Uh, I,
it's one of them games where it could be
I,
one
I,
that's yeah.
I also think, um, I also think with this, if there's a time for Leicester to feel inspired to perform, just coming off a 2-2 draw at Brighton, they got a point there, very hard
Mm,
fought, are ending
yeah,
their losing streak, and now they've got Liverpool. This is the time for them to do it. So
definitely.
maybe there is a little bit of element of surprise there that Leicester might be going for. And also, if this game's on TV and Liverpool are coming to town, this is a time as a player. It's like, oh, the world is watching me. I can really
Mm,
do something. I can surprise people. Loads of agents will be watching this game. Maybe I can impress them. So I don't want to underestimate Leicester, but I still
same.
think we'll get a 2-0 win. I
I think
think.
I think you guys will win that game, but it won't be an easy game. I don't think you're going to win it in the first half. It might stifle you for the first half, and the second half you get your late goals and win the game. I would
Mm.
say, yeah.
And our final match, obviously, we'll cover this more in depth on the Monday review here on Daily English. But we got Spurs hosting Forest. Spurs obviously through to the Europa League semi-final. This season has been a total write-off for them in the Premier League. I mean, this has just been horrendous from their
Mm,
standards.
yeah.
They're hosting Forest now. Forest. I mean, you look at their head-to-head. Forest have won twice. Spurs have won 5 times, and there has not been a draw between them in the Premier League or even the League Cup since 2014. The last time Spurs beat Forest, it was 3-1. It was at home. They're at home this time, and their goal scorers in that game were Murillo own goal, Mickey van der Ven and Pedro Porro. Chris Wood scored for Forest in that one as well. This was last season, bear in mind. But you sort of just feel Forest will go to Spurs and they'll get the job done, right? I mean, they need this win in order to secure their place in Europe next season. And by the way, imagine that. Imagine Forest and Newcastle, third and fourth, in
Hmm.
the Champions League next season.
They deserve it. They played a good. Newcastle won the cup. They deserved it. They played well on the day. Um, Forest have played well all season. They were relegation candidates again this season. Everyone thought they'll be struggling in the bottom half of the table. They surprised a lot of teams this season. They've done very well. So both teams deserve the where they are on the table. There's no fluke of where they are on the table. Played well. Chris Wood has scored a lot of goals for them this
Mm,
season. Lambert's done well. Hudson Odoi scored a good goal, scored goals, got a few 1 or 2. Morgan Gibbs White is a good player as well. They got Morella's a good defender. They
mm-hmm.
got Matt Sells in goal, good goalkeeper. They got a good team. They got a great team on Forest.
Yeah, but I look at Spurs as well, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. They've
Mm.
lost 17 times this season. 17 times. Not only that, they've conceded 49 goals in 32 games. I mean, that is inexcusable for a club of Spurs level. I mean, they're sitting in 15th. Mind you, Forest have lost their last 2. They hosted Everton, they lost 1-0, and they
Yeah.
went to Villa, lost 2-1 there. That's an indication of maybe this is a good time to be playing Forest.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I feel you're right, but I feel like Forest. I thought Forest have got a lot to play for now, and they're one of the Champions League tournament next season. So I think they'll go there and win. I think Forest will go and win that game.
Yeah, I mean, all season this has been a good time to be playing Spurs, is the other side of the coin to
Mm.
that. Also, if Villa win and Forest win,
Hmm.
then Forest could leapfrog Newcastle again. So it's a 3 points they need, and it's probably a 3 points they get. I can see Forest getting a nice win out of this one. So that's all of the Premier League games. Obviously, our pick of the bunch will be Aston Villa against Newcastle. 5:30 kickoff. It's scandalous that it's on a Saturday, but I digress. 5:30 kickoff on Saturday afternoon. And that is your Friday forecast. You have been listening to the Daily English as we just cross 1 hour of recording. Thank you very much, Craig, for joining me from Daily Arsenal, and a massive thank you to Ishan for sending us over that very emotional but also very positive voice note for this episode. What a day it's been for Manchester United. Incredible. It's all hotting up in Europe at the moment for the English teams. Thank you very much. Join us for the next one. Hope you enjoy your weekend of football.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.